Now, everywhere we look these days, there's negatives. Whether it's switching on the TV and seeing the bad news and the things that are happening around the world, or if you like me, you let things get on top of you, whether it's work related, money, relationships, or your own general mental health. I thought it might be a good idea to create a podcast which reminds us all about the good things, the reasons to believe in the fight, the reasons to get up in the morning, and the reasons to put a smile on our faces and change the way we see everything so negatively. Now, I do appreciate that a simple podcast isn't going to change the world. It's not going to solve any financial issues, any problems you might have at home, or resolve any health issues that you might have. But what it can do, it can give you the confidence and the courage we all need to see these things through. For me personally, this past few months has been a struggle. I've had family issues, work pressures, and to top it off, my own health anxiety has been back to its old-time highs. But as I sit here and record this podcast, none of those things matter to me. It's just me, a microphone, and the thought of you guys listening in and hopefully gaining something from this message. I've spent the last 2 weeks so overwhelmed by health anxiety, I've barely left the house. I've cancelled meetings, I've refused invitations, I've neglected my own mental health, I've left everything that I've learnt behind and only concentrated really on the negatives. Now why? Because it's so easy to get bogged down in what's going on around you. You know, we forget how important it is to put ourselves first occasionally. That's what I've done. I've been so concerned with my own stress, my own family stress, work stress, my own health, that I've completely forgotten who I am, and more importantly to me, how I managed to get to where I am today. I didn't manage to make progress with my own mental health issues through fear. I didn't manage to expand my boundaries when I was housebound by thinking. I never managed to feel in control of my mind and body by doing what my anxiety was telling me I needed to do. I made progress because I challenged those thoughts. I stuck 2 fingers up to anxiety, and because I pushed myself, my mind, my body to places that it felt uncomfortable. I never managed to break the cycle by monitoring every bodily sensation I had and reacting to it by adding fear or questioning what was happening to me. I ignored those feelings. On the occasion that I couldn't ignore them, I rationalised them. I gave them all the attention they deserved, and that was none. I wanted to record this podcast because I'm in a bad place at the moment too, and I'm back in the old cycle. This time it's my health. I'm questioning every little thing my body does, whether it's a dizzy spell, or a twinge here, a stifling headache. I've forgotten how to deal with these things. But the truth is, it's trying to deal with them that is causing me to add more attention to them. And the only way to deal with them is to just let them be. Let time pass, and deep down I know they'll pass. I know deep down that however bad I'm feeling right now, I know I've felt worse. I've felt the worst that anxiety can offer me. There's no surprises left in store. I've been there, I've got the t-shirt. It's just another one of those pain in the arse things that we call setbacks. They come and they go, and they have no consideration for the progress that we've made over all these years. They roll in, they leave their mark, and I give them all the attention they need to snowball into some big distraction and take hold of me again. And that's the reason for this podcast. It's a pick-me-up. A pick-me-up to remind us all we've been here before. No doubt we'll be here again. If you're having a bad day, maybe you can feel a panic attack on the horizon, or maybe you're so tense, you're holding on to yourself constantly. Maybe you're experiencing symptoms that you've never faced, or those symptoms are back and this time you feel they're back for good, or that it's somehow worse this time around. This podcast is here to remind you that you've probably been here before. You've probably searched the internet for this exact same thing that's bothering you now before. You've probably mentioned this same thing that's bothering you now to your husband or wife or friends or family, and even though they'll tell you you've been here before, it won't matter, because this time it's worse, right? It's not. It's just anxiety playing its old tricks on you. I hate the fact that every time I feel I'm winning, something comes along and puts the brakes on. Something, whether it's a stressful situation, an upcoming event, a physical symptom, there's always something. But today, I realise that's just life, ladies and gentlemen. Life is full of ups and downs, and this time we have is precious. Anxiety or not, it's still worth living each moment. I know we all have shitty days, and I know sometimes it feels like we're alone and we get bogged down in the thoughts, this is never going to get better. But deep down, as long as I'm breathing, it's still a life worth living. Whether it's friends, family, your kids, your job, your favourite sports team, your pet, your favourite TV show, it really doesn't matter how insignificant or significant these things might seem to other people. It's the little things in life that we forget. Those little things we take for granted while we're giving anxiety all of our attention. Now, after this podcast, I'm going to do something that I've been putting off doing because of the way that I've felt. And you should too. Whether it's nipping to the shop, making a call you've been putting off, doing some housework, meeting up with a friend, whatever it is. If your anxiety has stopped you doing it, then make that first step now. Take the lead. Yeah, you might feel wobbly, you might feel a palpitation, you might feel short of breath, but I've been feeling like that sitting on the sofa, worrying about it anyway. So what difference does it make? Spend less time worrying about how we feel, and more time doing the little things we put on hold because of it. If this podcast gives you the confidence and courage to just spend the next 5 minutes trying to do something different, then it's a result. Or even thinking about doing something positive, then that's a result. Start the ball rolling and gather that momentum. And if a setback comes along, what's a couple of steps backwards when you've taken huge strides forward? All it means is you have to listen to this podcast again, get back on track, until this message becomes second nature to us all. Think of all the things that you've missed out on because of anxiety, or because of your mental health. How does that make you feel? Angry? Annoyed? Upset? Let that be your motivation. Now go get 'em.